This is the book of Psalms, chapter 66, starting at verse 1. And it reads, "Make a joyful noise unto the Most High, all ye lands. Sing forth the honor of his name. Make his praise glorious." Verse 3, "Say unto the Most High, how terrible art thou in thy works. Through the greatness of thy power shall thine enemies submit themselves unto thee." Verse 4, "All the earth shall worship thee and shall sing unto thee. They shall sing to thy name, Selah." Verse 5, "Come and see the works of the Most High. He is terrible in his doing toward the children of men." I want to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to God, Elohim La Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Kodesh B'Katham. I want to say double honors to my apostles and the elders of the great millstone who teach and do rule well. I want to say peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Akwath out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you, I say Shalom. It's the brother Yahweh out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shai. And this lesson is in regards to an article. Well, Salakia, I'm that sleepy. This lesson is inspired by a video that the beloved elder Apostle Gabar did. I believe the title goes along the lines of "There's different levels to these demons," or "It's levels to demons," roughly paraphrased. And he was going into how, depending on how long you've been in this truth, the beloved elder Apostle Tahar has talked about and spoken on about how when he was younger, and even, since he's been in the ministry, about how, demons would plague him and try to, basically torment him, and, of course, the higher the spirit, or the heavier the spirit, the heavier the demons. So it made me think of something, because in that same video, I've been listening to the beloved elder Apostle Gabar for years now, and he made it. I learned a lot from all the elders, but especially from the elder of as far as like certain things he's brought out in different lessons, and he likes to go in about how the Lord utilized Dahmer, because he was a spirit of death, and then basically he put that spirit on the Jake. I don't know the Jake's name, but that basically killed Dahmer. So he was a spirit of death, or he had a spirit of death on him, because he was basically taking out all those moles. And then when basically the Most High Yahweh Shem Shai, we people and we call God and Jesus Christ, required Dahmer's soul, he sent that Jake to kill him. And it's something fascinating about that, because when they said, why did he has clips and videos and whatnot, and I forgot to save it or share it. So when I went back to go try to do the video, it didn't come up with that video, and I can't find it. So through the Spirit, though, I was able to actually bring up another video, but it wasn't as good as the video that inspired. Well, I told you the inspiration came from a video that the beloved elder did, but um, like I said again, that statement about Dahmer inspired this. And then, like I said, watching that video, I was like, through the Spirit, I was going to do the lesson on that. So I got another scripture before I jump into, as the scriptures talk about the Most High God is called the King of Terrors. It's the book of Job, chapter 18. I'm just going to go straight to the point. This is Job 18 and 14, and it reads, "His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the King of Terrors." So, when you go into that, that it's talking about, or his confidence that it's talking about, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. But the point I wanted to get was the King of Terror. The Most High God is considered the King of Terrors. Because when you watch this video, you're gonna be like, damn, like the Lord used this woman pretty much to, take out a lot of different people, and then pretty much put her in a situation where now she's going to succumb to death because she pretty much killed all these people. Don't recall what she did because she was heavy in her drink. So, and I was just telling this Jake, because he walked up to me when I was camping and he had been drinking. And I asked him, like, well, if you've been drinking, that's going to kind of affect us conversating. And he couldn't understand what I was saying. He like, no, it ain't. I'm like, no, it is. I'm like, because, it's certain, when you go into, like back in the day, they didn't even call alcohol. They called it spirits, you know what I mean? Because alcohol puts a certain kind of spirit on you. Some people drink and chill out. Some people drink and get super hyper, you know what I mean? That's why they talk about people drinking and get those liquid nuts, that liquid courage, But well, severe weather. Salakia. I got another one. So again, with that being said, pretty much the Lord put her in a situation, used her to judge. What caught my attention on that last video that I couldn't find is pretty much they said that she pretty much killed, like, I think they said like 4 generations of people, because she killed not only, she killed a father, a mother, the kids, and the grandmother. I think she killed the father, the mother, their child, their child's child, and then the grandmother. So I was like, God damn, that's deep. And then not only did she kill the whole family, she killed her sister. Pretty much, it was like pretty much 6 or 7. I think, like I said again, I think it was 2, 4, 5. Yeah, it was 7 people. Damn. And that's 7. The number 7 is completion. It was 7 people, and pretty much she was the only survivor. What's this? Book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 43. It says, this is all going into the Most High. First, I'm going to start at verse 23. Ecclesiasticus of the book of Sirach, chapter 43 and 23. By his counsel he appeaseth the deep and planteth islands therein. And by whose counsel? Talking about Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Yahweh meaning he exists, or he is, or is to be. Ba'ashem meaning in the name. Yahushua meaning he saves, or he's the deliverer. We ignorantly call God and Jesus Christ. Verse 24, they that sail on the sea tell of the danger thereof, and when we hear it with our ears, we manifest thereat. For therein be strange and wondrous works, variety of all kinds of beasts and whales created. What they say, the Loch Ness monster, Leviathan, It's creatures in the sea that haven't even revealed themselves yet. What do you think the Kraken is, What do you think Godzilla was? You know what I'm saying? The scriptures talk about Leviathan and Behemoth. Verse 26, by him the end of them that prosper is success, and by his word all things consist. So the only way you gain true success is through Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. You gain, the scriptures say it's nothing for the Most High to make a poor man rich, or vice versa. Look at what he did to Job. Verse 27, we may speak much and yet come short, wherefore in some he is all. He's a self-existing one. He's everything. And it tells you in the book of, what's that, Ecclesiasticus of Sirach, chapter 18, all things obey his will. So you don't have free will. Verse 28, how shall we be able to magnify him? For he is great above all his works. You can't praise the Most High enough. That's why when you go in the scriptures to talk about how you got, Elohim, angels, this whole job is just to praise Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Bear with me. So like verse 28 again, how shall we be able to magnify him? For he is great above all his works. Verse 29, the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is terrible and very great and marvelous in his power. Take the time to think about that. Like I said again, the Lord used one vessel to take 7 lives and then put that person in a situation where, like, this lady is now, she's handicapped, she can't walk anymore, and she got to sit and really think about what she did. She killed not only those people, a whole family, she killed her sister. That's a terrible judgment. I remember I did a video, I can't remember what year it was, maybe, I know it was maybe like a year or 2 it might have been last year or a year before, I can't remember, but it was a situation where the Most High put a Jake in a, most jails, they have like a psych ward. And they put this guy in a psych ward room, but the room was infested with bed bugs. Now, mind you, most psych wards, or if you ever been in jail, the CEOs, you treat it less than an animal. In the kennel, at least they'll come make sure water the animal, or the dog, or whatever. But in jail, they really will show you, like some of the jails I've seen, our county jail, the city of East Cleveland jails, I've been in some fucked up jail. So, point being though, him screaming like he was screaming, and they wouldn't even like address it until finally, when they went in the room, it was so bad. They said the bed bugs was basically inside his body. That man was tortured and eaten and bit to death by not eaten, but bitten to death by the bed bugs. They said when they brought the nurse to resuscitate him, she didn't even want to touch him and threw up. So just imagine how he looked and appeared. That's how terrible Yahweh Shem Yahushua is. He's merciful and wonderful, but he, it's a balance to it, and that's how the so-called white man has tricked most people. Most people believe in a God that's pretty much a power that pretty much, where he's begging you to come conform or to come to worship him. No, the Most High God is going to require you to come worship him. And before this thing is over with, all knees shall bow. That's scriptural. Scriptures say that all knees shall bow and everyone's going to proclaim the name of the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So I'm going to play the video. Lord will, this will be edifying. I want to say fair use, fair use. The Copyright Act. I'm not going to profit off of this video. I'm just making a video to, point out some scriptures that, inspired the video. Well, I told you the elder inspired the video, but, the elder said something that stuck through me through the spirit, that's where the true inspiration came from, through the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, through the elder. And then I saw the video that actually, through the spirit, I think, it all go hand in hand. So, without further ado.
Who's confined to a wheelchair.
This was sentencing day for the woman accused of killing her sister and 5 other people in a wrong-way drunk driving crash. Olivia Colbreth slammed head-on into another car on the 60 freeway in Diamond Bar.
Yes, she was the sole survivor. CBS 2's Dave Lopez was in court for Colbreth's sentencing, and he joins us live from downtown LA. Dave?
Well, Pat, behind me you can see the lights of the courthouse.
So, Lockie, I just want to say this. I mean, when you take time to think about it, it was a whole family, from the father, the wife, the child, the grandmother. Like, that's 3 different generations. That's how quick the Lord can basically just take you out. Scriptures say it's a terrible thing to fall in the hands of the living power. Shit.
This drama played out 30 years for taking 6 lives, a nightmare that has gone on now for more than 4 years.
You heard what they just said, 6 lives. So it say 5, but it was 6. Because, again, I know the sister and a friend, and then I guess it was 4 people over in that car. Right. So it was the father, the mother, the grandmother, and then their child. So, and then the number 7.
And so I was crying, and I told them, they're dead. They're all dead.
Through tears, Mary Mejia addressed the court today, never once looking at Olivia Colbreth, the woman who more than 4 years ago killed Miss Mejia's mother, father, sister, and grandmother.
I saw the window shattered with my grandmother's wheelchair in the back.
It was a horrific scene. Westbound 60 freeway in Diamond Bar, 4:45 a.m., February 9th, 2014. Ms. Colbreth, who was drunk at the time, was driving 100 miles an hour the wrong way before smashing head-on into the SUV occupied by the Mejia family.
I felt like my heart was ripped out of my chest and burned.
The 2 people in the car with Ms. Colbreth, her best friend and her older sister, died at the scene. Miss Culbreth, who's confined to a wheelchair now, was the only one who survived the impact.
No words. No words can convey how my heart feels.
Miss Culbreth is 25. The drunk driving accident occurred.
God damn, and she only 25, about to get 30 years? Oh, you know how miserable that's about to be? But then again, though, you know, like say, you got, you know, I used to tend to look at things, you know, one-sided, you know. And another thing that the beloved elder Apostle Gabar said in that very video about levels to demons, he said how when you pretty much, whatever you go through, you shouldn't look at it carnally. The best thing you can do is try to look at it spiritually, because everything is spiritual before it's carnal. You know, so I mean, you know, even with that situation, if the Lord dealing, he gonna be dealing. Like, you're gonna have certain individuals that's gonna be incarcerated. You know, I went to jail a lot in the truth for dumbass decisions, but also I think because the Lord wanted me to do certain things, because I never was put in a situation where I got to go do, you know, real time. You know, and then that's, you know, you're learning lessons. You know, like I remember, I'll never forget. I remember the elder Apostle Gabar, Salakia, the beloved elder Apostle Tahar, made a statement the last time I got out of jail. And he was like, you know, pretty much he said something, and I could immediately felt like he was in the spirit. He said something, and it felt like he was speaking directly to me. And he was like, you know, pretty much can't mess up no more. And I was like, damn, you know what I mean? Because it hit me like as if me and him was sitting face to face, and he telling me this. So I took it like the spirit told him to say that, you know what I mean? You know, and the thing is, the Lord is long suffering, but at the same time, we all supposed to grow, you know, like the elder say, if you're not growing, the spirit not dealing.
11 days, baby boy.
God
3 hours
damn.
after the accident.
She had a baby and everything, and that child about to grow up fatherless. Now that's a Jake, because she fit the curses. You know what I mean? You know, the thing is like I said, I always think about like Vocab Malone, you know, he sit up here talking about this and this. You know, scriptures talk about having faith. Faith is the most important thing. Like I said, you want us to believe in your white Jesus, but you know what I'm saying, we can't believe.
Accident. Her blood alcohol level was 0.15, nearly double the legal limit.
That was wrong. That was so wrong.
When she was sick, driving after causing a collision where no one was hurt. Her license was suspended for almost 5 years. She had her license for less than a month. Then came the wrong way collision.
He always asks when she's coming home. He jumps up on the little shelf and tries to move the glass.
The mother of Olivia Culbreth, describing the reaction of her son when he's taken to visit his mom in jail. Ms. Culbreth received a term of 30 years. She must serve 25 years before being eligible for parole. Her son will be 29 years old then. After court, when asked if the term was long enough and sufficient, Mary Mejia, who lost her mom, dad, sister, and grandma, didn't answer. Ms. Mejia also told the court that there were times...
That's enough. That's just, like I say again, scripture say fear the Most High. And based on something like that, why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? Like, that's how cold the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushua is. You know, it's the book of Ecclesiasticus or the book of Sirach, because the scriptures talk about, you know, the Lord used her to be a vessel to take out that family. When you heard what they said their name was Mahia, so more than likely they was Jake's. And whatever the reason why the Lord judged them, it could be for mercy. You know what I mean? Like, we know what times we coming in, you know. A lot of people might die. I mean, not might die, gonna die, you know, because that's scriptural. That's the Most High, you know, is holding back, you know, the destruction right now, the winds, but eventually he gonna have, you know, the angels let that destruction loose. And the Lord may spare a few old niggas and kill a lot of young niggas, you know. But ultimately, you know, the Lord gonna save who he's gonna save, and he gonna kill who he gonna kill, you know. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach, chapter 39 and verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes in the time of their destruction. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. So the Lord, you heard what she said. She said she didn't have a license for fucking. She caused an accident when she was 16. They kept her license, gave her back her license, and then a month after having her license, she do another. Like, that bitch was both times drunk. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how much spiritual shit happened when you drunk? So it was like the Lord pretty much reserved her to be a vessel on the raft, for that family. Because again, they sound like they, Mahia, more than likely they Jake. I mean, I can't say for sure, you got to try the spirit, but it says, in the time of the destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. Verse 31, they shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is, and when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. Again, she didn't know what the fuck was going on. So very well, an angel of death could jumped on her and did that to take out that family for whatever reason. Every time something happens, it doesn't necessarily have to be judgment. Sometimes death is mercy. I mean, I know you wouldn't, who would see that like that? You had a young child, you had a whole family. But then at the same time, just think about it. Your whole family, like how the Vikings looked at it, they die in battle. Like when you think about that show, Vikings, when Ragnar Lothbrok, and he was talking about like before he got killed. Like that was a good season too, because he was still trying to raid and pillage, but he was no longer king, and pretty much he was giving away his treasures that he had plundered from prior, trying to get men to basically go raiding with him, but everything wasn't working out because his time had came and gone. They got shipwrecked. He had to kill the crew that came with him because he had his youngest son with him, Ivor. But before he got basically executed, he gave a speech and he was talking about how pretty much he waiting for when he gonna be in Valhalla. No, that's not Valhalla. I forgot what the Vikings heaven was, but pretty much he said he could be awaiting his sons to join him, so that the whole family going together, that could be mercy, considered mercy too, because again, look at the times that's coming. Look at the times that's coming. Look at the world. Like I just did a video yesterday, showing San Francisco, but you got 1,000 San Franciscos around because you got a elevated crime rate in San Francisco, but you got an elevated crime rate in New York right now. That's why I commend the elders, because it's a whole bunch of shit going on around them, and they don't speak on that. They's locked in on rebuke it and correct it and teach it. You know what I mean? Like, I've always been inclined to do script videos on judgment or whatnot. But like I said again, when I listened to that video and watched that video, it made me immediately think of what the elder Apostle Gabar was bringing out about Dahmer, how the Lord used Dahmer to take out all those moles. Verse 31, they shall rejoice in his work. It's like it. They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is, and when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. Meaning you ain't going to be able to get out of, an angel doesn't have no sympathy, for, they're not going to, it's an old lady, it's a little kid. That don't matter. That's how much they just waiting, and their whole existence is to appease and do the will of Yahweh Shem Shai. That's their purpose. Like our purpose as an Israelite man is to go out and proclaim this truth. The scriptures say the whole duty of man in the book of Ecclesiastes is to fear the Most High and keep his commandments. And that's an Israelite man. This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 39, and it reads, see now that I, even I am he, and there is no power with me. I kill and I make alive, I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. you know. So it's the Most High that brings life and death. You know, it tells you that in the book of Isaiah, chapter 45. He creates the light and he brings darkness, roughly paraphrased. You know, it's the Lord that does all these things. So if somebody recovers from something that you thought would have took them out, that's, you know, the Most High. If somebody catches or is affected by something that takes them out, that's the Most High. You know? Scriptures tell you that the Most High God, a false balance is an abomination to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. This is the book of Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 31. And it reads, "It is a fearful thing to fall in the hands of the living power." You know, say again, just sitting back and you heard it for yourself. You know, meditating on that, like just that, like I was thinking about NBA YoungBoy. I put it in when I was part of the camp, put it in the group chat, because that fucked my head up. Like that man got all that money and you confined to a cell, you know. Like how you crash out like that, but showing you how unstable that nigga is, what kind of demons on him. Like nigga, you are wealthy as fuck, and he's facing like some goofy ass time and charges. But nigga, like he trying to operate a fucking appeal ring or some shit like that. Like nigga, you got millions of dollars, and you like just I was like, damn, that's cool. Cause now that money's not about to save him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like they was already, Esau was trying to go ahead and see, that's the thing about Esau. You know what I mean? Like he'll get Jake or try and get Jake out of certain shit, but they'll never get, like, you think they gonna do a Epstein for YoungBoy? The fuck? I don't think too many niggas gonna get that. I don't think P. Diddy gonna get that. I think, speaking as a man, that when the shit get like to the point where people really like, what the fuck's going on, they gonna go get P. Diddy and offer him up as the sacrifice to keep the people's minds occupied on some bullshit. Because they already investigating me, you know what I mean? It's too much shit that came out, you know what I mean? It's just we not privy to it because they're not releasing it like that. Showing you how fake this fucked up ass system is, you know what I mean? What happened to them Khazars that pretty much was in the synagogue and was coming up out of the sewers like the gutter rats they are? What happened to that? But those devils gonna fall into the hands of the living power as well. I want to end the lesson. I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to called Allah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Chakot with a thumb. I want to say double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone, teaching do rule well. I want to say peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Aquat out there listening and learning. Lord, willingly, this was edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth. To you, I say shalom. And until next time I'm able to come with another lesson, I say shalom, shalom, Kwam Yasharallah, shalom.